and try to understand it. Feel it.
Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video.
From movies you know you'll enjoy to dark horses that may surprise you, join me as I reveal to you 10 movies to die for in 2020. 10. Fast and Furious 9. Wait, what's that? Fast 9 has been moved to 2021 in light of the epidemic? Oh no! What will we do? How can we live? Guess what? I don't care. I'm talking about it anyway. Plus, as we all know by this point, we'll all be dying trying to figure out how Dom and his crew A. defy physics, B. are still alive, for the most part, C. are still alive while they defy physics, and D. try and explain how characters that apparently are meaningful to the story because they're tied to key characters have never been mentioned before, ever.
Impressive. I know.
No, that's not impressive.
Case in point, in Fast and Furious 9, we find out Dom had a little brother in the form of John Cena. And yet, despite all of Dom's talk about the importance of family, of having to stick together, this has never been brought up? Uh-oh, and of course, the reason for this is that his brother is a bad guy. Mind blown. Let's not be coy with this, okay? You know what you're getting with the Fast and Furious franchise. Some of the coolest and most elaborate car chases ever, a deep look at friendship and family, and a whole bunch of insanity.
My ass is in fuego!
And for all of you still whining that this movie's coming out in 2021 now, do know that executives are notoriously fickle. They've delayed New Mutants how many times now? And when it comes to making money now versus money later, and the fact that the movie is done, they might just tack it on to the end of the year. It's the Fast and Furious franchise. Anything is possible with them. 9. New Mutants. What? You thought that was a casual name drop? Oh no, it's definitely a movie you'll be dying to see if it ever comes out. Never forget that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a movie you should totally rent, by the way. Hi, Quentin. The X-Men franchise was standing tall and was raking in money. Sure, Apocalypse didn't do as well as people hoped, but Dark Phoenix was coming and looked to be good. Oh, the irony. And for the first time since Deadpool, the franchise was branching out in the form of New Mutants. It was all set for a Friday the April 13th release when suddenly it got delayed. And then we didn't get a release date for a while because of reshoots and added characters and so on and so forth. Then we got another date, and then Disney bought out Fox, and then we got a release date of 2020, and then the epidemic hit, and now we're into the realm of, is it ever really coming out? I honestly don't know. Many of us are just hoping Disney will say, screw it, and drop it on Disney+, but we might not be that lucky. Which is sad, because the movie does look good as the most recent trailer showed. So when it comes out in 2020, I have to hope, sue me, you should go and see it for no other reason than just to say you can prove it was a real film. 8. No Time to Die. Yes, I do realize how ironic that title is in the context of this list. Thank you. One of the earliest victims of the epidemic, the next James Bond film titled No Time to Die, is the last in the line of Daniel Craig films which, like it or not, did indeed help revitalize the James Bond franchise. Yes, Skyfall and Casino Royale were the best of the set so far, but each had their own merits. And sure enough, No Time to Die is looking to upend the series of films in dramatic fashion, with James learning even more secrets about his life and the love of his current lover, as well as a dark new villain who aims to challenge him more than any villain before.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
You know, the typical James Bond fare. Don't get me wrong though, the trailers for the film have been sharp, and this does indeed feel like a film that will have our attention through and through. Plus, unlike the previous two movies, we do know when it'll return to theaters. It'll be there in November, so just last until that long and you'll likely be a very happy camper. 7. Mulan. Another early victim of the epidemic, Mulan is arguably one of the more ironic cases of movies to die for in 2020 for several reasons, not the least of which was that it was like a week away from releasing when the epidemic hit its full stride. There were even early reactions to the film hitting the internet and saying that it was good. Which brings us to the other aspect of irony in the film. While it's another in a long line of Disney remakes, Mulan is choosing, for various and somewhat unknown reasons, to not follow the animated example. Instead, they're going with a more, realistic look at things while including magic and witches.
You will die pretending to be something.
Even though the original film only had magic in the form of Mushu, who's not in the film, and the ancestor spirits, yeah, that makes sense. Go Disney! Seriously though, there are some weird things going on with this film, and most people are divided on whether it'll turn out well or even do well at the box office.
My father cannot fight, so I will take his place.
More than likely, Disney will release it in 2020 once the lockdown lifts, and we'll see if the film brings honor to us all. See what I did there? 6. Artemis Fowl. Here's a curious entry for you. What do you get when you take a very popular book series and then decide to upend some of its key plots when you turn it into a movie? You get Artemis Fowl. This is another in a long line of adaptations of books trying to follow the success of Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. But after the first trailer dropped, fans weren't that impressed, and they noticed key changes from the book that might have a drastic effect on the movie.
An army is coming.
Granted, both Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter had to make changes themselves, but they weren't as key as these. So you might need to go see this movie to see whether it upholds the legacy of the books, or so that you can know who to write an angry letter to later. 5. Soul. When it comes to Pixar, they rarely ever fail. Seriously, The Good Dinosaur is like the only bomb they've honestly had, and they noted that the movie had plenty of backstage issues. Ironically, we've already had a Pixar movie released this year in the form of Onward, but because of the epidemic, its time in the theater was run short. So now, Pixar is no doubt aiming to have Soul be its big hit of the year. And honestly, it has potential. Many have noted that it's a different take on their massively popular Inside Out movie, but if you watch the first trailer, you'll see it's something truly different. For here we have a man named Jamie Foxx who has just gotten a big break in his jazz music career, and just when he's celebrating, he dies, or at least he's close. But knowing what's coming, his soul runs for its life, and he finds himself in the part of the afterlife where a new soul is being trained to be in a human body. Now, he must help a fledgling soul, voiced by Tina Fey, find the meaning of life as a whole so that they can both go to Earth. Pixar really does great movies with messages, and in a time where everything is depressing, we need a film that tells us that life really is a journey and that we make the moments that make us smile ourselves. Plus, Jamie Foxx is awesome. I'm just saying. 4. Tenet. I'll keep this one brief. No one knows what Tenet is, but it's made by Christopher Nolan, so that should be enough for you. I mean, come on, you're dying to know what it's about, right? That's what I thought. 3. Godzilla vs. King Kong. What? You expect me to talk a lot about this? It's the king of the monsters versus a giant ape. What more do you need to know? 2. Black Widow.
Nurse that lives across the hall from you. She seems kind of nice.
Secure the engine room, then find me a date.
I'm multitasking.
These last two movies shouldn't be too much of a surprise. Black Widow is a movie that should have come out ages ago, but male chauvinism, look it up, it happened, prevented Black Widow from ever coming to be. But with Avengers Endgame putting an end to her story, literally, it's time we learn more about our favorite Russian spy.
Do you even speak Latin?
Falacius sunt rerum species.
Which means? Wait, what? What'd you just say?
It means you can either drive yourself home or I can have you collected.
This is the first film of Phase 4, and it's an important one for Marvel no matter what way you look at it. The trailers show everything you'd expect from the film and more. High action, great characters, a compelling villain via Taskmaster, and more. Plus, Scarlett Johansson. That's reason enough. It's finally time for Natasha to get her due, and Black Widow is definitely a movie to wait around for when it releases this year. Sometime soon, hopefully. 1. Wonder Woman 1984. If we were putting together a list of most anticipated movies in 2020, the top 2 entries would be the same. While it's nice to see Black Widow get her due, it's long overdue for Wonder Woman to shine once again. And Wonder Woman 1984 is aiming to be bigger, grander, and even better than the original. And the original was really dang good, I'm just saying. While the first movie was set in World War I, this movie is set in the 1970s. I kid, it's set in 1984. Diana has been in the world of man for a long time now, and just when she thinks things are settling in her life, Steve Trevor shows up, alive. How? Why? We don't know. But we do know that Cheetah and Max Lord are the villains in the piece, and Patty Jenkins, director of the film, is promising some big things and shocks that'll rock Diana to her core.
Diana!
While we've only had one trailer, it's very much set the world on fire. Yes, it's been delayed from June to August, but you can bet when it comes out to theaters, we'll be there. So, what do you think? What do you think of these movies to die for in 2020? Are you going to see these movies when they come out? Which ones are you the most hyped for? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.